Right, hello Phoebe, how you doing, sweetheart?
God.
Right, so I'm just taking this opportunity to have a little bit of a chat with you because you've been obviously coming to Inspire for a long time. Do you know how long you've been coming?
Is it 2 years?
Higher.
2 years and a bit?
Yeah.
2 years and a half?
Yeah, just not, well, you're getting nearly towards 3 years.
Actually.
Yeah. You've
Felt
been
like
nearly
yesterday.
coming to Inspire for 3 years.
So felt like yesterday we had the 2-year party or the 1-year party.
Well, we did the 2-year one online, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did you come to the first bar party?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Did you?
I was there.
Did you come to the opening day?
Yes.
And what did you think at the opening day? Because obviously, believe it or not, Phoebe, do you actually know when you signed up for become a member? You
No.
wouldn't have done it, your mum would have done it, but can you remember when that was?
No.
It was 3 months before we even opened.
Is it actually?
You signed up as a member at Inspire on the 14th of the 2nd, 2018. And we opened on the 5th of May, 2018.
Just too eager. Just too eager.
Just too eager. But, so, obviously, opening day, was that the first time that you come, or did you come with your school, like, on a pre-visit before the big grand opening?
Well, we was going to come with our school.
Oh, was
because we was going to do it as an end of, like, I think it was like year 4 or something.
Right.
But then we couldn't.
Right.
Because something happened and then we ended up doing something different.
Right.
But on the opening evening I came.
So on the opening day. And what did you think? Because obviously that's your first time, so what was your first impressions when you walked in here?
It was very big.
It was what?
Very big.
Very big.
It was very noisy and there's loads of people.
Was it?
There was like there was loads of things going on at different times. It was just like,
yeah.
Whoa.
Phoebe, do you know how many times you've been in Inspire? Can you guess how many times you visited Inspire for coming and joining with stuff?
Well, I did Tuesday, Thursday. I did Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, and sometimes Sundays.
So that's
like 4 days a week.
4 days a week.
Yeah, and there's like how many weeks is there in a year? And that's 2 years, and then there's Corona. So like, I want to say 100.
Higher.
150.
Much higher.
200.
Much higher.
250.
Look at that, Phoebe. Higher.
300.
More.
400.
Right. 349 times you've been to Inspire. And one of them years we've been virtually closed for most of it. How awesome is that?
That's a lot of times.
Yes, that is loyalty. You are one of our loyal members. And you are one of our loyal members, aren't you? Because what did you win this year?
The gold membership.
You won the gold membership. Yeah, you won the gold membership. So, I know you're not going to get loads of benefit out of that this year, but we will make sure that it does get so you was 9 years old when you first started coming.
Actually, I'm 12 this year.
I know you are, not far off.
In March.
In March, ain't you? So
yeah
you joined just before your 9th birthday.
Yeah.
So
that's mad.
So you turned 10. You missed on so much because that was you year 6 going into year 7. So how was that for you?
It was actually quite hard because I didn't get any of what we were going to do because we were going to go to Anderton again with year 6 leavers because we got told we just booked the day that we just got the approval to go like a few days before the half term. We just got the approval to go to London to go to the Houses of Parliament and go speak to the Speaker of Lancashire and stuff, and it was mad.
So you missed on that?
I missed on Anderton, I missed on all my year 6 leavers trip.
So you mixed your leavers trip.
My leavers party.
We
only got, I think we got half, we got just after 5 till like 6, 7 to have like a party where we got like a small inflatable and stuff and like a barbecue outside. That's all we got for our leavers party. It was so sad considering you'd been in that school and then not having my head teacher that I'd been with from reception to going into year 6. I lost my head teacher. She went to a different school to take care of like the kids and stuff, and then we got a new head teacher. I didn't even get to meet her because we left school before that.
It's awful, isn't it? What sort of things did you do
to
keep yourself entertained in lockdown?
Obviously we went because it was quite sunny because there was obviously no cars. We had all the front garden with my gymnastics mat outside. I had my trampoline. I did the 2.6 challenge video on my trampoline.
You did.
So I did 26 backflips.
With Inspire. We did actually ask who we thought who the lockdown legend was.
Right.
Didn't we? And who was it? It was you! And why was that?
Because I did like loads of challenges for Inspire, and then I'd be joining the online Zoom.
Stuff we was doing.
Like the bingo, the cooking, joined all of it because it was always something to do considering lockdown was so sad.
So, almost 3 years attending Inspire. What do you think Inspire's helped you with, and do you think that you've like made any sort of like overcome any problems, or do you feel like you've benefited in certain aspects of your life and different? Obviously, I know your story, Phoebe, and I remember you from where you was when you first came, and I can see where you are now. But I can talk about that. But do you see that in yourself?
Yeah, because when I got diagnosed with my Asperger's, it was before that I couldn't really handle school. I was refusing to go to school. I woke up in the morning and was like, no, I'm not going. I used to scream at my mum. I just didn't know. And then I got my diagnosis for Asperger's, and I came here, and this place changed my whole thing on school because you would help me out with homework. There was members of staff who used to speak to me about school's behaviour. Inspire used to tell my mum strategies for me to go back to school, and then school would find out them strategies. And it was quite hard to know that it was school that was the issue, if that makes sense. It was quite hard to know that it's easy to understand when you know you've got your diagnosis, but when I didn't know when I had my diagnosis, I was like, why am I doing this? I'm shouting out things I don't know why, and I'm getting myself in trouble. Yeah. And it's not really fair on myself, even though I'm doing it, if that makes sense.
Oh, God, absolutely, Phoebe. And I can remember times, you know, you would be so upset.
Yeah, over the little things.
And it was really difficult for try and reassure you, for calm you down, for explain things. And you did have quite a bit of a struggle sometimes. Well, a lot of times with your emotions.
Because I used to just get so angry with things, and I used to go down to football and take it out on the football. There was so many things that were going in my mind at once. It just used to take over a lot of the time. And if one little thing happened, it'd be like, oh gosh, here it goes again. I'm just gonna freak out again, or oh no, this person's come from school and it's going to be so much. I used to worry that when people from school came to Inspire, there was going to be drama, and it happened a few times, and then it got dealt with because Inspire dealt with it, not school. It used to go from school to Inspire to school to Inspire, and then it used to come home, and then it just used to be like, it was a worry to go certain places because you knew people were there who would just make you go from this to this. It was quite hard actually, but then obviously Inspire just flipped everything around. They spoke to the kids and they spoke to myself, and I've got to understand that I'm in the wrong sometimes, and they've got to understand that they're in the wrong sometimes, and this is what this place showed me to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it showed me to help myself.
Absolutely, and you have got to take a lot of credit for yourself, because I can't tell you the difference from when you was here and that to what you are now. You are a completely different young person.
Yeah,
You're beaming. I see your confidence. You're up here. You're engaged in so much good stuff. You can tell your emotions now. I think you know.
My Asperger's diagnosis definitely helped, because I just used to just think like, I'm just doing this and it's not my fault, and then to explain it to people was really hard. But now I know I got my diagnosis when Cam's told me I got it, and when Cam's showed me on the spectrum how it would work, and when people used to ask me, what's up with you? You've got anger issues, you've got this. You used to stress me out even more. But then when you found the kids who were really interested in your story, you felt so emotionally attached to tell your story. I tell my story about Asperger's, and it was a completely. They were so interested. Like, one of my friends didn't know, and I told them, and They were like, so what is that? So I just used to draw what Cam's drawing me. I used to draw the scale and how it worked, and it was so interesting. And it was just like, you think something that you think was so little and what could change your life could change another person's life.
Exactly.
So easily.
Exactly. And I think there's something you can do there, Phoebe, with that, and maybe it's something for us to work on as a side project with you. Because your story's really, really interesting. And there'll be other young people out there who are feeling like how you were feeling and probably feel like there's no hope. Now imagine if nearly 12-year-old Phoebe could talk to 9-year-old Phoebe.
That would be mad.
What would you tell her?
I'd definitely tell her, I'd tell her that I'd had it, so I'd tell her that I know now I have it. So if I hadn't got my diagnosis when I spoke to my 9-year-old self, I'd go, listen, I know what, and I can see what's happening, and now I can see myself, I can go, I can tell you these strategies which actually helped. If ever in the future, if life went on the same, I'd tell her, not just ignore them, but taking some of their information, the rest of the bad, the things you don't need to know, that stuff, just leave it, because there's so much drama that I used to get involved with or I didn't even know about, and it'd still come to me somehow. And it's quite hard to think now that, like, I couldn't tell myself I was good enough for that person.
No,
I couldn't tell myself that...
We couldn't tell you.
That's what I mean, you couldn't tell me because I didn't understand.
I used to always ask someone else, but I used to try, and then I used to think, maybe she might speak to another member of staff, so I was talking to Caitlin Blythe.
There was Caitlin, yeah, I was going to say Caitlin
please go speak, because I saw that you two had a special relationship.
There was just something about her on the first day I met her that she just used to listen. She just used to literally just sit and listen to you, and I'd just pour, and I just used to, I wouldn't stop, and she'd just go, and she'd just tell me stuff that would help me, or like Gabby did the exact same thing. She'd bring me in here and speak to me about it, and it was like, wow, like, these people don't do that, but then these people do it. You need those people in your life, not those people.
So when you said those people, who were those people who you do need in your life, do you think?
Inspire, definitely inspire.
So what do you think you enjoy about coming Inspire? Because obviously, when you first came in, nobody really knew what stuff we had inside. From outside, it just looks like a magic box. Like nobody knows.
It just looks like a big building.
It just
colourful
looks
things.
like you don't know. So when you come Inspire, what was you interested in, and where do you think your sort of interests have gone off to now?
Football, because my friend introduced me to football. They needed a new goalkeeper, so and then my friend's mum, obviously been friends with my mum for ages, friend's mum went, we need a new goalkeeper. So obviously I got into football, and then obviously my interest went down to football. Yeah. Did climbing every so often, still did it with my brother. And then he stopped doing climbing, so I stopped doing climbing with my brother, but I still did it here. And then it went off to music and football, because I started singing about a year ago.
Yeah.
I've always sang my whole life, but then I started singing lessons about a year ago, and my interest went into music, and I've learned to write songs, because I've wrote songs, I played them here for Chorley Live, and I've done loads of, my interests have completely gone different.
It was in our New Year's Eve, massive celebration.
Yeah.
And so many people, because obviously my friends and family were watching it, they all said the same thing. How amazing is Phoebe? How amazing. And you were amazing, Phoebe. You've got an amazing voice.
Every day is getting colder, and if only I could hold you, you keep my head from going under.
And there's other things now that you started branching off to. Celebrity once more. What's that all about? What have you started doing now because you're here at Inspire?
Well, obviously I've started doing like Youth Voice. Youth Voice has helped, because that can change that like the litter pick, doing that, things like we're doing mental health days, which means I can obviously show from my mental health to help another kid's mental health who's feeling down. Cause
do you think your mental health's improved?
Yeah, because I couldn't tell anyone what I was going through, and now I can just go up to someone and go, I'm feeling like this, I don't want to do anything but this, and you'd let me do that, do you know what I mean? Like, even if there was certain things that I'd pick on, I'd go, I don't want to do that, like, it's not what I want to do, I can now tell you that instead of holding it back and bottling up all my emotions.
Right. So, and then the other exciting thing you're involved with now is the clay project. So the fired up.
Yes.
So had you ever done pottery before? Or have you used a wheel or?
Well, Inspire did it, obviously. You did it a few times with those little circle ones, and I did it. I used to just do clay, and then like it didn't used to be like pottery. It used to be clay. You'd draw something, like, and then just it'd be dry, and then you'd take it home. But this is completely different. But it's just next level. Yeah. So it's obviously quite good for me to also do pottery because it calms me. So I can go up to Christine and do my pottery, and then I'd just be like, so this has happened today with school, but then it all seems to just drain, and it all seems to go. I could have been there for hours talking about what happened at school. Yeah. Whereas when I'm doing the pottery, it just seems to disappear, and I just used to be like, oh, this is interesting, what we're gonna do next.
Absolutely, and you know what? It's madness because I saw the thing that you made last week, the pot, or the week before, and it's absolutely incredible. It's like you've just got all these talents like dropping out of your head everywhere. I'm just like, what is she going to turn around to next? It is absolutely brilliant. So the staff at Inspire, we're obviously youth workers, some of us are play workers. How do you think we're different to like teachers or other adults?
Teachers get told that they need to not put people in place, but they need to, if they're not doing the work, you need to do your work. Whereas Inspire's calm, they let you do what you want to do. Whereas I wanted in school, I used to just walk out of class and go to the bathroom because that was my free space. That was where teachers couldn't come into the bathroom. Yet I found that they could. And I just used to walk out of class. I just used to hang in the coat area and hide underneath the coat so no one could see me. That was into year 6 as well. I just used to walk out to the bathrooms and think that's my free space now. Whereas Inspire, if you ever get mad from one area, go to another area. Like, they didn't have what I wanted to do. I, obviously, because of my Asperger's, I tap and I bang and I hum and I sing. And everyone went, that's annoying, you need to stop. And my teachers would tell me off and they'd take me out of the room and shout at me. And it was like, I didn't know I was doing that, I'm sorry. They're like, yeah, you did know you were doing that. I was like, no, I didn't.
And I remember as well, obviously, because I feel like I've got a really good relationship with your mum. And a lot of that came through having to speak to your mum about things that had happened to you and your concerns, obviously, about your behaviour and stuff. Yeah. And then your mum eventually, I ended up helping her. I ended up writing stuff down for her here because your mum was sort of kind of struggling to get a diagnosis for you for years. She was,
yeah. For years she tried to get it for me, and then once we'd finally got it, it'd been a year on the waiting list to actually go and see them. So we got it late, but kind of early. So if we had got it earlier, it would have been better because we would have been able. It wouldn't have gone up to 9 years old where we had to start dealing with me. It would have been younger, which would have helped. But because it took so long to actually show myself that I was doing these things, and they had to make me understand that I was doing them to get my diagnosis was even harder because I wasn't understanding myself, never mind understanding what other people were telling me.
Really hard. Yeah, so, your mum did say, because she spends a lot of time here, she does. They weren't seeing when you was going for any kind of assessments, the Phoebe that we see here. Yeah. So all they had was the school side of things.
Yeah, obviously.
So when we was more than happy to support your mum with that, and I'll never forget your mum's come running in going, we've got it, we finally got it. And,
I came in so excited. I went to Caitlin and I went, Caitlin, you know what? I'm going to tell you something really special. I've been diagnosed with it, which means everyone can help me now. And I remember being so happy that I can finally be able to know that I can understand myself. So it was really, really, really good when I got my diagnosis.
So how long do you think you're going to come to Inspire for?
Until the top age limit, and then I'll start working it.
Yes,
it'll be going up to seniors, and then it'll be young leader, and then it'll be going up to right to top age, and then it'll be working it.
Absolutely, a virtual